Hey everyone. So today we're going to be taking a look at how to enable the last activity date for some of your standard objects like leads, accounts, contacts, and opportunities. It's not a native field that you're able to display out of the box, but it is something that Salesforce tracks natively. So let's go jump into our contacts list view right here, and then we'll click our gear icon and click Edit Object. And then we're going to go to our fields and relationships, and we'll start looking for our last activity date. And you can see it doesn't exist yet. So we're going to click New to go ahead and create this field. Our data type is going to be a formula. And then our field label is going to be last activity date. Same for our API name. And then our formula return type is going to be a date. And then we're going to click Next. And then our formula here is going to be very simple. You're going to click Insert Field. And then from here, we're just going to type L. And it's going to take us down. And then we can get last activity. And you can see the API name is LastActivityDate. So like I said, Salesforce already tracks this. It's just something that we have to put into a formula field to display. We'll check our syntax real quick. And it says no syntax errors. So we're going to move forward. We're going to click Next. And then Next. Next. And Save. And then we're going to go back to our contacts list. I'm going to open up my test record here. And I'm going to go to edit the page just so that we can get that field to display quickly. And I can see it's already there. I'm just going to move it over here and save again so that it actually shows up. And then if I come back here, I can see there's no last activity date yet, but if I come and log a call here, and we'll just say called Trey, and we save that for today, then it's going to say that our last activity date was today. And then we'll do it one more time for our opportunities object. So we'll click into opportunities, gear icon, edit object, and then we'll go to fields and relationships. We'll search for the field again. It doesn't exist yet, so we'll click new, formula, and we'll call this last activity date. Our formula return type is going to be date. Next. And then we're going to click insert field, and then we'll click in here and type L, and it's going to take us to the last activity date. We'll insert that. Just check our syntax again. It says we're good. So we're going to click next. And we're going to give it a second. There we go. And then next, next, and save. And then we'll go back to our opportunities. I'm going to open up this one, and I'm going to go to edit the page. And I can see that it hasn't popped up yet. So we'll just go to our fields right here and grab that for our dynamic field component. And so I've got last activity date right here. I'll drop it there and save. And then if I come back here again, there's no activity populated, but if I go over to my activity tab here and I log a new event, we'll say it was a week ago, and then we'll save that. Now if I go to my details, I can see the last activity date was the 1st, but if I go back under activity and I log a call for today and save that, and we go back under our details, it's going to show us our last activity date as today. And another thing to keep in mind is our accounts, and we can enable this for our accounts real quick as well. But since the account buckets all of the other objects underneath it, like the contacts and opportunities, those activities are going to roll up to the account. So it's going to show the last activity date for the account as the last activity date for any of the contacts or opportunities. So let's go to create our formula. And again, we'll call it last activity date. And we'll go grab our date, formula return type, and we'll insert last activity. And we won't check the syntax again. We know it works at this point. So we'll click next, next, and save. And then if we go back to our accounts here, we'll open up our test record and we'll edit the page so that we can get that on there. We'll go ahead and upgrade this to be a dynamic page layout. And then I see last activity date right there, so I'm just going to save. And since we logged activity on one of the records that looks up to this, it shows it as today. So let's go look at another account that maybe we haven't logged activity for. So Dickinson PLC right here, there's no last activity date. If I open up this contact, of course, I could log activity directly on this account, but we're going to do it on the contact. And so we come over here and we're just going to log a call for today. And so this contact now shows last activity date of today. And if I go back to Dickinson PLC, it's going to show a last activity date of today. So that's how you would enable it, and that is how the logic is going to work. Thank you.